So, we join back in with our adventurers. After last week, the group had begun some rest and relaxation while also trying to figure out how they might be able to help High Priest Arcanair more and improve Dante's ability to heal the infected without burning the people as well. Dante and Volu headed off to try and get some magical items made, some things maybe to cover their movements and stop them being divined upon, worrying that now that Dante might be being hunted, um, some secrecy might be required. Eleni, however, helped around the temple, but then went into a special room designed for prayer and thought, and uh, using some water taken from the waterfall in the Sacred Isles, um, that her moths seem to be really attuned to, had some visions and now might have some choices or thoughts to ponder at least. Ichi had been stayed behind using so you previously got some notes and stuff from the library anyway, and you were poring over those things about the fire plane and creatures of such, looking at the Azure dwarves that you fought in the temple, while also keeping a watchful eye on the sword. So we'll join back in with Dante and Bolu. For the others, have a think about what you might be wanting to do. Obviously, each of you don't know that Aileni is just down. Like they said, they were going out. Obviously, Aileni, you do know that each is just upstairs. But for Dante and Volu, heading towards the gardens where the pretty scared student had glanced before running off in the other direction. How would you like to approach the situation?
I mean,
do you want to do this?
It's not till the evening, anyways.
Well, obviously you don't need to meet him until midnight, but obviously I don't know if you want to find it and locate it before, or whether you're planning to just wander around these gardens.
Yeah, I thought we were going to look for it.
Yeah,
so how do you want to tackle it is my point, because you sort of get through the archway and it's a large open gardens. If you imagine like universities do, large open gardens, cared for space, tropical plants, it's like a big open space. There's a fountain. It's a large area, right? It's essentially like a park. So are you just wanting
do we have any like plant knowledge?
I don't suppose you've got any locate spells prepared, do you, today?
I don't think so.
I'd like locate object and then say mangrove.
That's like in this area. Is there anything that is mangrove adjacent?
So first of all, both of you just give. Actually, I'm going to say, Dante, are you proficient in nature?
I feel like I'm not in nature. I'm in Arcana, and
I know you're not going to have to roll to know what it is. I'm going to basically say that if you're not proficient in nature, give me a nature, Dante, to see if you can actually remember exactly what a mangrove is and how to identify
30-20.
it. Okay, perfect. So now both of you can give me perceptions if you want to try and sort of search around.
I'm aiding Bolu.
Okay.
I'll give
investigation.
Dante a bit of guidance as well.
No. If I'm aiding you, if it's perception. If it's investigation, I'm happy to take it.
No, it's perception.
Okay, I'll guide myself,
and I'll give you guidance. Give you advantage.
Okay, so what is that? What does aid do to me again?
You get to
I'll give you advantage.
Oh, advantage. Cool.
Yeah.
Advantage plus your D4 for guidance.
Where's my D4? Where are you, triangle? Ooh, 4.
No,
22.
22.
22.
Okay. You start looking around, start searching through. You do find some things that are almost mangrovey. I think after searching through the park, you find like in the very, very center near one of the fountains, there's like a small little area of mangroves. And on the north side, there's a much larger, almost like at first it looks like a collection of mangroves, but as you get closer, it's almost like one large mangrove. And you can almost tell, Volu, that it's been magically cared for. It's like larger than it should be able to be in this environment. Not larger than mangroves have ever been, you know what I mean? It's not like a giant mangrove, but in this environment, this close to the desert, they shouldn't really grow quite this big. So it's definitely being magically attended to, as opposed to the ones by the fountain that are more shriveled and smaller and a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to investigate? Because this is it, to spot them and pick out spots, but then to investigate.
I'll alert Dante to that. This one seems like this one wouldn't really grow like this here. So maybe you can use your detective skills and search around.
Dante goes over.
I'll pat him on the back and give him some guidance.
First thing he'll do towards the big mangrove, pick up a bit of like dirt, sand, or whatever, and just kind of cast it over it.
As you do, there's almost like a soft rustle and a ripple, and then a twig hits you in the face. No damage. And as it does, the whole mangrove sort of.
Okay, so I'm gonna go try. Did the dust actually go over it?
Yeah, touched it. It was almost like you threw it, it hit the bark, and then a stick just came out of the.
Can I try to? Well, firstly, I'm just going to touch it. I'm going to take an action to dodge.
Okay,
I'm feeling Whomping Willow here.
For me, I also just love for passers-by that have no clue what you're doing. There's just like a very large fiery man, like tentatively, like.
Okay, I never said I was tentatively.
If you are taking an action, getting ready to dodge, it looks tentative. You are like in a fighting stance, ready to dodge while trying to touch a tree. It's not the most normal of sights for those who don't know what's going on.
I mean, it's on a student campus. That could have very well be a normal reaction.
Yeah, Not from somebody that looks his age, though. That's the thing.
Oh,
I look younger. I'm definitely saying I would look younger than whatever these guys are saying I was.
So, interestingly, Dante, it almost takes you a second because you put your hand to it, and there's almost like it's almost like neutral temperature, like nothing almost. But then for you, you sort of realize that most people feel cold to you because you are hot most of the time. So it's almost like the tree itself must be a little bit warm to be almost near matching your natural temperature. And there's almost like in the same way, and Dante, you're more attuned to this in like this is actually for you something maybe a little bit fey, maybe a little bit something like that.
Hey, that's my thing.
It is, you think, and it's less that you can feel like a pulse or anything like that, but there's almost just like an energy in the air around this thing. I'd say if you wanna, you can give me an investigation.
That would be an advantage, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
Still got my natural 20.
Nice.
I was about to say I've still got my guidance, don't I? But
Yeah, you do.
just for the lulz. So what was the investigation? Oh yeah, and that's a 4. 30.
Nice. So almost like instantly attuning to this. You don't think this is a treant. You know, you don't think it's like something like a creature pretending to be a tree. But there is a higher level of sentience almost. And as you're touching it and you sort of run your hand along, again the tree sort of like almost as if you tickled it for a moment with the movement. It's less for you, like, you don't think like full blown conversation intelligence, but almost it is definitely aware of its surroundings. And as you're sort of watching, there's the small pond and a pool underneath that feeds the roots. You see the roots are exposed. And there's ripples. Like, but not in the way of like, so if there was something breathing there, you would expect like the occasional blub, 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 you know, like, but repetitive almost. There's almost like as if something drips, but there is no drip. But that's the sort of ripple that you get. And there's like, boop, 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 boop.
He wants me to play a musical instrument.
I can pull out a lyre if you want.
I don't need to see any politicians. I feel like I should get blessed for that one.
No, sorry, the government just shut down our YouTube channel.
Dante wants to be nice to the tree and ask it if it can let us in, and I don't know, give the bark a little stroke in a very non-sexy, non-pervy way.
What are you actually saying as you sort of stroke the tree?
Stroke the hard bark, stroke the hard bark.
Oh God!
Oh God! I just. I got myself.
No.
Oh, whatever time it is, that recording. There you go. That's something for you. I've got 46 minutes since I've been in it. Oh Christ!
But yeah, what are you actually saying?
I am saying, may we enter. Show us the way.
There's almost like a pause from, you feel like all the vibration under your hands stop. And then again in the water that boop, 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 boop.
No, you're lying.
Sing back to it, Chris. Go on.
First, I'd like to tell you a story. of something that has been recently removed from me. First, I was afraid. I was
Oh,
petrified,
no.
thinking I will never rid you from my side. I cried so many times. I don't know what I did wrong, but I stayed strong. And I learned how to fight along. And now I'm back.
All of you lying out.
Liam, is there like a negative inspiration? Is there like
You're out this place.
I can pull the
I
layer
take
out
a look
and
now,
I'll
and there's
ignore
not even a
Dante
face.
and listen to the water and try and replicate what the water plays.
So Dante, give me a performance.
Oh wow.
Do I still have his guidance? No, technically I used it on that 20, didn't I?
You did.
Just to say.
You did.
Can I get advantage?
And Volu.
Okay. 11.
Okay.
Glad I got +3.
I mean, some of the students that are passing by do sort of like take a look, like think you're a busker. Somebody throws like a copper at you.
I shall take it.
um,
I'm adding 1 copper.
Volu, give me. I'm just so is I think you'll be fine with this. So you sort of listen to it, and again it goes boop 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 boop.
Yeah, so I'll be trying. What from me playing the lyre, it does that.
Well, I was gonna say is you can either roll for it or you can physically try and replicate it.
Boop, 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 boop.
Okay, and as you do play out, the tree sort of shakes and the leaves rustle, and you notice fireflies begin to light and fly down from the tree, sort of circling round. It almost continues in the song in the water as you're playing along, and there is.
Sorry.
Well, go on.
No.
And you would notice that the water and almost at the same time, the water at the root level and the wood at the root level almost begin to recede a little bit and uncover what looks like right now is like a bottle wide hole in the tree. But as you look into it, it's like it goes, and you're like, there might even be a light all the way down there, but it looks like it's like down a tunnel sort of thing. But there's like this pinprick of light, not big enough for you to yet get in, but you're definitely onto something.
Thank you, Tree. I'm glad you enjoyed my story. My perception and insight is so bad he would not have noticed.
Yeah, you were picking
Yeah.
up the copper while Volu was playing.
Yeah, that was really good, Dante. The tree liked it. That's what happened.
I thought you were the magic person.
Volu will just take a deep breath. Remember what happiness he had when he saw the tree hit Dante in the face. And go, okay. Do I have any idea how that kind of works?
How do you mean?
Is it something I've seen before?
This is something we can jump into.
Give me I'm going to say it's disadvantaged, but a
Hey.
disadvantaged history. You can't on this one. It's a thinky.
Can I do the roll then as well?
You have never, even in your long life, seen something like this. He might have because he has lived on.
Well, it's just I've got proficiency in Arcana and History.
I don't know, but you're obviously seen it.
13.
So you have heard of one of these. You've never interacted with it. It's one of those things that. So you heard from Tanabori that one of the Sealy princesses had a tree that if you sung and danced to it, it would open up a door to like a hiding space, basically, where they hosted dinner parties and night galas and things like that. For you, you're maybe thinking like you've done half of it. Does that make sense? Like you've done the first bit. You get a feeling with that there's probably some words that are supposed to go with it.
Right.
I sang the words.
Have we heard that tune at all as we've been walking past? Like, does that tune invoke like a earworm that we've had when passing students?
It just before you even ask that, that's what my question originally was. Was that actually a thing, or did you just make that up? Because
I don't know if it's a thing, so I'm not going to claim it, but I just risked that.
I had just in my head, I was like thinking, what is that?
It very well might be something because I just pulled it from my brain and did a thing, so it might be something. So I'm not going to say it's.
So you created it, got it.
Yeah. The original piece of work. Interestingly though, Bolu, yes, you are right. And as you're sort of thinking and pondering, there is sort of like some tunes going on. There's like a bit of a band over on the far side on the like auditorium bit. Not auditorium, what do I want to say? Amphitheater. There's like, a little domed amphitheater sort of thing. And it's as they're starting, that's like the school's anthem. Like the sort of jingly bit that goes like. And they do say some words with it. But for you, it's a bit odd. Like, I'm going to say with the 13, you would recognize you don't think it's the words that you're supposed to say. And again, the feeling that you got when you were reading, well, when you were sort of in the mind space and sort of inciting that student, them thinking you were a teacher, they were almost embarrassed to actually say it. Do you know what I mean? So for you, you're thinking it's probably some entendre, silly twist on, or even potentially maybe it's something that changes if they do keep it hidden from the teachers. But I would say you've definitely confirmed like this is the entrance for sure. It'll just be now about getting the right passphrase essentially.
Yeah. So can we find out the school anthem at all? Like the lyrics of the school anthem, and then we can work from there. I'll say to Dante, I'll relay basically what you said, what I've heard, and if we can get the words for that, maybe we can figure out a link. But that's something we can think about and come back at midnight to try.
Alternatively, we could just camp out, hide somewhere, and then just wait till they come.
Would we not want anybody to join us at all, or?
That's probably a good shout as well, but it's only a bit of business. But I'm happy to go if we want to look around.
Maybe we can scout around, like we can camp a little bit later, but let's go around and try and find out a bit more about what this song is and if there's like any links, or like just listen out.
And I'd say as you're speaking, the fireflies start to recede. The wood lowers and the water rises again, and it all covers up. Like there's almost like a time on it. It was waiting for the thing, and you didn't do it in time, so it closes up. But Molu, for you, the tree's sort of like swaying almost like happily. It's like definitely like almost enjoying the interaction as opposed to like it's not annoyed you didn't give it the password essentially.
Mm. I'll go up to the tree. I'll put my hand on the bark and kind of give it a pat and go, "We'll be back soon, friend." And then I'll whisper to it, "If you want to throw another twig at Dante, that'll be funny."
Give me a persuasion.
Persuasion. 12.
You pause for a second, and there is like a little rustle, and you sort of look, and there's no twig hits Dante, but
Hits
then
him.
a leaf just lands on your head, just softly, and it's almost been like shaken off at the where it would join to the.
That's cute. It gave you a leaf for your cloak.
I know. I was about to say thank you and take it and put it into my pocket to weave in later.
Okay, and as where would you guys like to start heading towards next? Are you still on the lookout for more stuff, or now that you've found a potentially cheap and quick way to get it done, are you finished with your shopping? What's the plan?
Yeah, so I mean, there was two things we were looking for, wasn't it? One was the amulets, which were the easier things to find, and one which I think is actually the reason for this was actually it was to do with the sword, wasn't it? An
So
easy way.
it depends about which way you want to do the bag of hold. If you're going bag of holding route, or if you're going something more custom designed. Because bag of holding, you would probably want straight the market.
Yeah,
Unless you do want them to make you bag of holdings, or see if they can find one.
yeah. I thought it was meant to be like a sheath bag of holding, effectively.
Definitely try and make something like that.
I feel like that was what this was for, and the the tokens of protection from divination were more your basic things, weren't they?
So they are lower cost and definitely can be got, but it's people don't like you in terms of like what you would often sell. You might have one, you wouldn't necessarily have four ready to go. So again, it's up to you. It is the sort of thing that you could go down to one of the normal markets and see if they've got some, or just sort of hedge your bets and get all your magic stuff done.
Do we want to go shopping? Do you have anything else you would want to do?
Mine's probably be answered more here. Ways to revoke memories that may be locked. Do we need to get you a sword in the interim?
We can find that out at some point. I will figure something out if we need to. Let's find something. What are you looking for, Folu?
It was. I was looking for my home to begin with, and just when we were making leaps, it seems there's more to the story than I was aware. But that's almost locked away, almost like you were.
That must be a horrible feeling. Do you know how or why, or even who?
It was all very confusing. All I saw was me as a child in the Fae, and I thought I remembered just being found and taken care of, but it didn't seem like that when when you almost killed me. That's when I remembered.
Well, yes. Yes, then we should maybe get this looked. Let's find someone who can help with memory thing. Dante kind of very quickly tries to shuffle off with like in any direction. Be like, maybe there's a teacher here who knows something.
Definitely, obviously. I will say, as you sort of move that way, Volu, that does sort of ping for you that potentially even something like greater restoration, which is something you can pay the temple for, or it might even be something you are able to do yourself.
Not yet. No.
But definitely wizards can do the remove curse, which I believe works on
No, I think that's what I was looking for.
modify memory, I believe.
Modify memory is not a curse, is it?
I think it works though. Let me check.
To remove curses, I want to say it's a level 3 spell.
A remove curse or a greater restoration.
Oh wow. So remove curse, I think, is a level 3 spell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it level 4?
4, I think. Let me check. 3. And it's
What levels?
cleric, paladin, warlock, wizard. So to be fair, you could.
I could actually learn that.
Well, you could just choose it tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Volu didn't realize that, but maybe speaking that aloud.
Can you? Are you strong enough to do these spells?
I mean, we can. I just need a bit of advice, and then maybe I am.
Let's see if there is someone we can talk to.
Okay,
I will help in any way I can.
You begin to head off to find some more information, and I will flick back to Eleni, who sort of you open your eyes, you sort of sat underneath. You moths are still sort of floating around, but very calm. You muted, sorry.
Sorry, I thought I'd just done
No,
that.
don't stress.
So yeah, I would sort of stand up and stretch a little bit. Look interestingly at the bottle in my hand, and I think I would go and return the bottle to High Priest Arcanair, and then I'd go and find Ichi and see if he's still around.
Okay. When you head up towards High Priest Arcana, they give you a. Did you find anything useful?
Yes, I think. I might have more questions than I had before, to be honest, but I
Well,
have the startings of a path,
well,
which
that
is
is good.
something.
If I can help in any way, let me know. I can divine or ask questions, but for now, ponder on it. Maybe it will spur something.
Yes, and my moths like this a lot.
I did wonder. There are stories of creatures created out of imbalance.
It said that in the vision. It said that I was imbalanced. But yeah, let me have a think. Thank you very much.
Of
Is
course.
is Ichi still here?
I have not heard anybody leave. I believe they're still in the room.
Thank you. I will see you later, and I'll go and find Ichi.
Okay.
If he's in the room, I would probably knock because I've not been sleeping in here, have I? So yeah, I would knock on the door
Hello?
and sort of open the door and just sort of pop my head in. Are you free?
Oh, Eleni. Certainly, yes. How can I help?
Oh, I just wanted to see how you were and maybe talk about what our plans are if we have any.
Yes, of course. I'm doing relatively fine. Little anxious due to obviously all the things that have happened recently, but ultimately okay. Just trying to make sure I can figure everything out as possible as I can about this sword and how much of a threat we now face by carrying it with us. Is there anything in particular you want to do next?
I wasn't sure. I think I need to stick around for a while, at least to help Volu with whatever he's trying to achieve.
Definitely.
But then it occurred to me, I mean, this was your quest, wasn't it, to help Dante and to free him? What happens to you now? Do you go off and become a real knight? Do you join an order somewhere? I mean, how does that work?
I don't know. I've been doing a little bit of thinking of that while I've been sat here. Obviously, I would love to become a full knight and to complete my path, but I have a lot of anxiety at the moment about the order. Not about what I'm doing or about the order itself, but just about those within. Things
There,
don't seem right at the
there,
moment.
there seems to be something very strange about Sir Arthur and definitely about Sir Delrond.
Yes. Um, the curse that's meant to happen to those who become knights, who become Iris knights. I think I'd like to do a little bit more research into that as I progress.
Makes sense.
Like you say, something doesn't seem right. Whether that's intention, perception, or something else, I don't know. Within the order, it's all confusing.
Hmm.
But obviously, more than happy to also help you and Volu with anything that comes our way, because as much as yes, Dante and everything that's happened was part of my mission, I've grown very fond of you two, and I would hate to see something bad happen to you, and I'd hope to think that you've come to think of us not just as burdens following each other around.
No, I don't feel that way at all. Um, I think we sometimes lose focus.
Yes.
Um, all of us.
You talking to us or the characters there?
Both. Definitely both. I there's a very interesting meditation room here that Arcana allowed me to use, and she also has some water from the Sacred Isles that my moths were very interested in.
Oh,
Um, I, I saw some really strange things, Ichi, but it feels like there is a problem with Astera. Volu is important to that somehow. And there was a warning for me that I was, how can I put it, being scared of the wrong thing, that I was being chased, but not by the thing I thought I was being chased by. I'm wondering if those two people who were looking for me was a distraction, that maybe there's something bigger going on. But Volu's important. I feel like I want to be around to look after him, whatever he does next. I know he was talking at one point, we were talking about maybe going to the Sacred Isle. I don't know if that's still his plan or I don't know. But I think I'll be around a while longer.
of course. I mean, I have no problem with going over to the Sacred Isle if the opportunity arises for us to join you. That Ichi kind of like pulls out their notebook and kind of like writes down what you said about the being pursued, but not by what you originally thought you were being pursued by.
It it was like imagine that there was a figure, and it was like, this is the figure, you're being followed. And then a voice said something like, you're not looking in the right direction. And when I turned around, there were just thousands of eyes. It was like whatever was really there was so much bigger than this thing, this shadow in the door that I've been scared of.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's easy to be paranoid when you've been on the run as long as I have.
of course. I understand that. Of course. Right. Well,
And
of course.
obviously these visions aren't clear, but
When
yeah.
are they ever?
Hmm.
That'd be too easy, wouldn't it? Tell us exactly where to go, what to do. Right. Well, hopefully we can help you come to get a little bit more ease towards these subjects and such. But
I don't think we have I mean, was there any other place that we talked about going?
nothing's really been brought up so far. There was the possibility of going to the one of the one of my order's temples to do some further investigation into Dante's situation, but I have a lot more anxiety about going towards those kind of locations at the moment. I would prefer
Hmm.
to at least.
I'd say sorry for ETO. So there is the potentially still Bruce's
Mhm.
fort.
Yeah. Um, there is also where my master and I, or where my master first trained me, which I believe is towards Helig's Landing. Is that like it's up
Yeah,
there?
just
Yeah.
off to the right on the tip.
So if we were going to be heading towards the Sacred Isles, we could by all means go via that.
Yeah.
Would allow us, or at least it's a path that I'm familiar with, at least, so we could journey that way. Um,
I mean, I'm happy to head up that way. I haven't traveled in that part of the world before.
it's quite nice. It's a nice area. Obviously, I'm from the desert myself, from Uvar, but yeah, no, it was a very nice change of scenery when I first moved there. It's I understand that obviously for yourself, you're always on the move, but did you ever have a place that just felt like it was home away from home?
I don't think I have really. I No. I lived with my parents, and then I lived with my husband, and then I traveled. I've never really stayed in one place long enough after that to find another home.
Of course. Well, the temple in which Bruce trained me, it was just us two, so I guess it's just me there now. So
Are there things there that you might want to collect, or things that would help you?
um, there's some books, some of the things that Bruce and I would read over in terms of training. There might be some information there about this curse or infection or whatever the heck it is within the order. There might even be some stuff about the infection that's come and spreading around the place because
Mm.
there's been some research towards the fire planes and everything before. Maybe there's some information there that we could look into. But
Uh,
what I was mainly trying to get to is where he trained me. Obviously, there's a lot of memories there for me, but they're all just that now. They're just memories. So hopefully, if you're ever needed to, you're more than welcome to call that as a home away from home for yourself. I hope that even if I'm not necessarily there, you feel like you have the safety and security to be able to go and stay if you ever need.
Thank you, Ichi. I really
Especially
appreciate
as
that.
it is a little bit out of the way, so perhaps it would just be a good place if you ever do need to lie low or just collect your thoughts.
Yes, perhaps. Thank you.
More than welcome.
You you talked about the infection. I know that Dante and Volu have gone off looking for items. I know they've gone shopping. There are a couple of things in my mind about this. We obviously have a lot of people here who are infected, but there was also talk of the catacombs, and I don't know if we've really understood the source of this infection. We're just dealing with the people who've already been infected. But how do we know how they're being infected in the first place?
I've been thinking about this as well. Everywhere we go, where it feels like, or we hope that we're going to find the answer, it just leads more questions or to a dead end. Like when we were down in that fortress underneath, nothing in there felt like the infection was coming from it. Even that giant portal didn't feel like an origin point.
It felt like that had already been there and the infection was on top
Took
of
over.
that.
Yes.
And what I'll say for Eleni, as you're thinking about it, there was the corridor that was entirely consumed.
Yeah.
He didn't go down.
Well,
There
no.
was a more infected corridor that Eleni saw it while you were chasing after Dante, and then was like, I can't deal with that right now.
I will mention that as well, and I will just say, there are certain parts of the world of this place that are more infected than others.
Right.
I don't like the infection, but I do feel like perhaps a trip into the catacombs. I mean, maybe those tunnels that we were down in yesterday, maybe they all connect up.
Maybe it might be worth a revisit down there. Do something we've never done before and actually go back to where we said we would go to, you know.
You never know.
There's always time to turn over a new leaf.
If you want to see if that actually happens, keep watching.
Yeah. As players,
Spoiler alert.
and characters.
It won't.
Yeah.
We're talking about it right now.
All of us are so riddled with ADHD. Wait for
And by the
5
way,
minutes.
And by the way, there is a dog curled up in the room
yeah,
Right.
there is the dog. There is a dog. That's the
dog,
one
yeah,
thing that's been.
that we all completely forgot about.
All of a sudden, there's like the sudden snoring sound as they roll into an awkward position. And
Yeah, on the back.
Oh.
Isn't he meant to still just be following me? Because that was what you told him to do.
he told him to stand down.
Yeah, I told him to.
They are literal dogs. So it's not like they're not a summoned creature that follow one command. It is like an actual animal. So to be fair, he's gonna need to do some training if he wants it to be like one command follow.
Well, this is why we don't let Chris have pets in game, because he forgets they exist and they probably die of starvation.
Hang on. This was a group memory loss.
Also, to be fair,
it was me that remembered it outside of game.
I would also say pot calling kettle, because who left their horse in a different city?
No, that's not fair. That is not... Doris was well looked after. And I did remember. It's just that it was too far to jump back.
It was like we just took off, and then you suddenly went, Doris.
We have a name for the dog.
We haven't named the dog. Are we naming the dog Doris?
Or Doggis.
Oh,
Doggis.
I like that.
Doggis.
Oh dear.
But yes, so.
So we can certainly do some looking into the catacombs and into where we just were. There's so many questions. And again, like I say, we find so many things that we hope are going to be answers, but they just lead us to more questions. So hopefully we can actually put some of this to bed.
I seem to remember there were already some clerics or some people down in the catacombs doing some kind of investigation. So it might be worth us trying to find those people and see if they've got anywhere.
Aye. Yes, that sounds good.
Okay. I'm going to go and get some food, seeing as, Volu's not here and there might actually be some.
Yes, or at least some less angry chefs.
Some less angry dwarven chefs. Yeah.
Sneezes.
Volu feels something randomly, even though he's well over 500 feet away. It's like disturbance.
Volu sat there going, it's disturbance. Someone's eating a sandwich without me.
Rumbling. Yeah.
Eleni, if you don't mind me asking, the moths that you have with you, Where did you find them, or how did they find you?
Well, I died, and when I woke up, they were there. I actually think that they healed me.
Right.
Maybe I wasn't fully dead. I don't know. I have been told, or I believe that I've been told, that if the moths die, I die. I think we're pretty, what's the word? We're reliant on each other,
Yes.
I think. Symbiotic? Is that the right word?
Yeah, one survives with the other. If the one perishes, then the other one struggles to survive as well. Interesting.
They're definitely, I can feel what they feel. If they're scared or angry or happy, I can gauge that. They really, really don't like the infection.
Imagine why, especially from everything we've heard from, and like kind of gestures towards the sword from him and everything. It feels like it's something that travels from plane to plane, a threat to anything and everything.
I will also say they weren't huge fans of Delrond, but I know that Volu also felt a sort of fear when we met him. So I don't know.
I wonder if that's towards him or towards the Order, because obviously, first time we interacted, there wasn't a pleasantness.
I don't think they react to Arta though, do they, Liam?
He
No.
didn't react to Arta, no.
No. So they were fine with Arta and with Ash.
Oh, now that
And
is interesting.
well, you haven't actually met any of the other spies, did you? Only Ichi and Dante met the
I've
other.
only met I've only met Ash. I think
Yeah,
the others were.
so of the three you've met, only Delrond, and even the gnome that was with Delrond wasn't the source of the issue. It was Delrond that was the issue.
Right. That's interesting.
But yeah. I know what else. I don't know if you saw this actually. I think you were in another part. So when I finally went and put the battery back in the holder in that tunnel, the power from the battery powered my moths as well. They literally gave me wings. I mean, I was flying up until I caught up with Dante. And then the further I got away from that battery, the less power they had. But my moths were almost energized by the power in that room.
Sounds as good as the reason as any for us to definitely go and have a little double check back downstairs then.
That infection was still growing. It didn't stop. I know the golem's probably still there fighting.
Well, hopefully.
But yeah, I don't think we should just forget that that's there. We need to do something.
No, that should be a priority, especially as the recent events that we've been through. It might also be interesting going back. Now Dante's more contained.
I would
Seeing,
suggest we also take some potions and actually go down prepared.
yes, go prepared for anything. Because obviously I know that downstairs is obviously where Dante lost a lot of control to Tenebris. Perhaps there'll be things that when we go downstairs that Dante can recall from Tenebris and such, because obviously there was that connection there, and I remember Dante saying something about what was it? No, Dante said something about the sigil of my order.
He did
The
also.
sigil of
If you want to
Serata.
make me a straight intelligence, see if you can recall.
He said that it looked different.
It looked different on Arthur's.
Yeah.
For Arthur than for you.
12.
So he definitely did say that there was something different about Arta's sigil, but he also said that Tenebris really, really wanted what was in the bowl.
Yeah.
But we don't know why.
Don't know why, and neither does Dante. He just
Yeah.
knows that he was fixated on it.
To be fair, yeah, specified. Pretty much what you got there is near enough what Dante knows, at least at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Don't let me keep you from food.
No, would you like me to bring you some back?
Actually, if it's all right with you, do you mind if I join you? It'd be nice to get out
Oh,
of the
great.
room for a moment. I have kind of mainly just been sat with my book, thoughts, sword, and dog.
Maybe we'll bring the dog something back then. Yeah, let's go.
That sounds good.
Let's go make friends with the chefs.
Actually, make friends with the chef.
Actually, make friends with the chefs.
And I will ask as you stand and start to leave, are you taking Case with you, or are you? What is the plan with the big lead box?
Ichi is.
The DM never asks these things. Be aware of that.
I mean, I'm happy to carry
I'm
it.
being very nice this first time.
Yeah, I'm happy
Yeah.
to carry it with us. I do think we need to train the dog to guard it as well. But
Yeah,
I'm happy to bring it with us and not leave it in the room on its own if you want.
yeah, definitely. I am also, whenever it is placed down, I am setting alarm on it.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'll go over, dispel the alarm, pick it up.
Take it with you. Yeah, that's
Bring it
fine. You guys are able to head on out.
These guys just both carrying this huge lead case because between you, it's
Mhm.
not. Remember, it's the size of a door.
Yep.
But remember as well that I'm 6'6" plus.
And remember, I'm
So-
a shorter guy, so we're
Not
carrying it.
not just
So
that,
I
but
reckon it's just over one shoulder. Personally.
Lenny has the lifting capacity of its
Yeah.
own.
But she completely does. We discussed this before. Able to carry it, it's just awkward.
Yeah. But it's on one shoulder, and I'm doing a bit of shuffling sideways and going forwards and backwards through doorways and stuff.
But yeah, you would be able to go and get some food. I will, at that point, as you guys are sitting down, flick back over to the guys quickly. So, you were making your way through the streets. You just muted yourself, by the way, Chris. I don't know if you meant to do that. You can begin making your way. Is there what first? What's the you wanted to go speak to a professor, or at least somebody? And I'd say so. You're looking around. Are you just gonna do it are you just gonna like try and find one, or are you gonna go back to that reception desk that you were sort of pointed to earlier?
Did we find the lyrics, by the way?
So yes, I'll say that you've got them. I haven't written any. It's basically along the lines of around like faith in Laryxa and her power, the magical weave, how the weave births from Laryxa. Is all around those sorts of like.
So faith, weave.
At the end of the session, I want Paul to have had a full song made.
Faith, weave, Laryxa.
If you can,
it sounds like he's about to do one of those freestyles.
I was about to say, if you can use like Laryxa in a song, then well done you. Like, what the hell rhymes with that?
There was something else, wasn't there?
It was about the weave birth from Laryxa.
Birth. There we go. Faith, weave, Laryxa, birth. Okay. I'll have a think.
So we'll head over towards the reception desk, I guess. As we're walking, be like, so is there a type of ice cream you prefer?
You really want to start this conversation because we can talk about this for a while because it depends what type of day, weather, and situation depends on what is my favorite ice cream.
True. I mean, we've got time whilst we're walking between things.
Well, so if it's a day like today, which is fairly nice, I mean, we're near a desert, so it's quite warm. You probably want to go for something that's more sorbet-ish. Maybe something citrusy because we're in a nice area with that being around the plants. So maybe like a citron, or but if you say, for example, in the forge ward, it's a bit hotter there, but it's like kind of a damp heat, so you want something that's a bit more palatable. And because you've been working heavy, you want a bit more sugar, so you probably want a normal ice cream, so maybe something like a stracciatella.
What do you
And
think?
as you approach the desk, she will just be like, can I help?
I'm sorry, we're talking here. No, sorry.
Oh, we're looking to speak with a teacher surrounding removal of curses or memory modification.
I mean, well, are you looking to purchase the service or just inquire about it?
Inquire, then potentially purchase, depending on the outcome of our inquiry.
If you and they motion over, they just sort of well, just wait here one moment, and they point over towards into like a stack of books, and you would notice they cast message and just whisper, "Could I have an attendant to the front desk, please?" After a few moments, no, if you imagine they know where the resting the break room is.
Yeah.
They're just pointing at the break room, like one of you get your asses out here. After a few moments, I would say that for you guys, young adult human, wearing not wearing like school uniform, but they do have like a badge on. It gives you the impression of like student teacher that are, like that, like maybe in their post grad years or something, like like they're planning to be a teacher here or something like that. But it gives you that sort of vibes. They say are highly trained. They are ready to be qualified in the next few years. Anything minor, or if you need something further, there is a charge, but you can ask them anything for free.
No volu, not a sandwich.
You look over to the human who just sort of extends a hand and says, "Hi, I'm Gregory. How can I help you? You have doing a research paper, interest in any sort of areas I can help you in?"
There's a pause, and Dante will look towards Volu to see how he's feeling. Not that his insight will help.
Yeah. He seems happy about the situation, no matter what I put up. Sorry, go on.
Do we just out and ask him about like how to remove curse or how to do a certain thing?
My friend here is looking at how we can, how one can help modify when a modified memory has happened to them many, many years ago. What impact a removal of curse could do, and retrieval of long lost memories. Bear in mind, memories since then have been impacted based on what ever memories could have changed. We're looking at
they almost immediately are like, very interesting. How long are we talking?
We're talking many years at this point. We can't say for sure, and we are looking at ways of being able to help those who have had, like we said, long memories losses, and the impact that it might have on their life. Some of their choices, would they have changed? Some of it is hypothetical, but obviously we need a bit of practical sense as well. So we've come here for a bit of understanding. What would you say?
Now, and you would see that as he starts to talk, he is sort of talking rudimentary, but he also waves a hand, and it almost looks to Dante at first like an imp is crawling out of his pocket. Before you realise it's
Sacred
like,
flame. Wait.
yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, with Dante's training, there is almost like a fuck demon. But also, because of your training, you actually notice you don't get any of the brimstone or any of that, and you notice it's like a wooden puppet almost. But it does seem to act of its own accord as he's like, fetch me these from these shelves, and it just flies away.
Can I do some sort of arcana to know what it is, or
You
is
wouldn't
it
need to do an
nature?
arcana. You think it's like similar to how Mum's got a little silver raven that can cast that spell and do a
Right.
thing.
Okay. So it's an item.
It's like, yeah, you think it's like an item that does find familiar, maybe something like that, but the item is the familiar.
Well, I would love a little Pinocchio.
And he sort of says, well, so normally, by normal standards, if a normal mortal casts modify memory on another mortal, then a remove curse should bring back all memories. Do you know if the subject was? How have they discovered they had their memory modified in the first place?
I believe some trauma or something.
Even more interesting. And as they're talking, the Pinocchio imp creature sort of carries back 2 or 3 books. It is like barely carrying them along as it's moving very slowly.
Dante does keep looking over towards Volu to see if he wants to talk here, because it seemed like Volu was unsure, so that's why Dante is taking.
He is kind of shifty about this. It's like the way in which like he learned it, because it was traumatic. It is kind of like bringing up those feelings again, and it's kind of just making him a little bit nervous about it all. And obviously, he saw Dante's reaction before, so he doesn't kind of want to trigger Dante's uncomfortableness again. So he's fine with Dante leading in this moment.
And they'll say, now, interestingly, modify memory as of the spell is not affected by trauma. If the person or persons in this research had memories really revealed by a traumatic experience, then it might be something done by a creature or maybe even an innate ability. They would read through a few things, and after a moment they would say, well, I believe that still remove curse should help in unlocking all if not all, sorry, of any modified or messed with memories. Although there are a number of cases of, if that doesn't quite work, returning to the place where memories were modified. Sometimes that is in a traumatic space or somewhere not accessible, but returning to places where the memories were taken can sometimes assist in the retrieval. But as far as most research and case studies say, remove curse and greater restoration are both heavily successful.
Out of game. Thank you, Liam, for giving us 2 completely opposite places to go from where we have spoken earlier in the game.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of not, but also.
Yeah, he's mentioned it before. He has mentioned it before. I'll give him that.
Okay.
Volu at that point will go, thank you.
Would hypothetically, if it was a creature or something along those lines, what type of being would have that type of ability to have it in an innate way?
I mean, lots of creatures, scarily enough. Demons and devils can do it. There are cases of binding magical contracts, servitude and things, but also sometimes the contract takes memories. Especially tricky of devils when they include the actual act of signing the contract in one of the memories that they are able to take. Fae are known to do this, though Fae are usually more upfront about it. It is sometimes in a deal. some sort of exchange. And obviously, Volo, for it resonates with you that exchange is massive in the Fae. Even if they do trick you into something else, they will nearly always make it your own fault. You know, they didn't necessarily trick you. You didn't check.
Yeah.
It's
Logic,
not that, yeah.
logic loophole, not
Yeah, they wouldn't
bull
lie
behind
outright.
the
Yeah,
eyes.
they would. And while in this world, it's not necessarily the whole they can't lie thing, but they don't generally lie in that way to trick you. They might omit something or just leave something out or let you run away with your assumptions. But again, it will always be the person who messed up's fault rather than with a devil they literally will engineer it so that they get to take the one memory that you have of signing that bit of paper and now you don't even remember that you do serve a devil. So yes, there are a number of creatures, though not many that would go unnoticed if they were roaming the material plane. Anything else I can help you with?
I'm still just waiting to have a look.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Would it be enhanced if there was more than one party casting this? For example, you're brought into a circle of people, um, uh, and they're all kind of placing the curse or whatever, the contract or whatever it may be that to remove the memories.
That does narrow it down a little bit. Something like a contract in that situation wouldn't have any effect. You're bound to an entity, maybe, and that entity might be many people, but them being present wouldn't be necessary. Maybe something more fey. And again, it sort of flicks open a book that's been brought over, and they say hags are known to gather in covens to increase their magical capabilities. They are quite prevalent in the Fey realm. Some dryads and other such creatures sometimes gather in communions to better protect and enchant a forest.
Dante may just like be looking over their shoulder as they're flicking through books because he's got to try to quickly read or scan anything that they are.
Give me, I'll just say a straight roll just to see what you catch. If you see it, you will get it. It's just what you catch.
14.
Okay, so the book they're holding definitely seems to be like a book about the Feywild. And it is the sort of, as they're flicking through, there is like, drawings of hag covens and the sort of talking on, you catch a quick thing of like complete weather control as the page like skips, and it's almost like information on the Feywild and its creatures. There's almost more weather like really, yes. I think if the person involved in your case study remembers a group of people, that would suggest Fey, even maybe celestial, but devils and demons, they don't often work together like that.
Okay. But you still think that a remove curse may remove the majority of it?
I don't know why I wouldn't. Honestly, I would believe all of it, but I would not want to say for sure, as I have not seen the papers or the patients.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Would you, or have you any experience with removing or like reapplying these memories and not actually doing it, but if you have got any knowledge of any changes to the person, how it could impact them?
It is difficult. I mean, You are saying that they have lots of memories now that were formed based on these false ones.
That is a just a conjecture at the moment. We haven't got necessary evidence of this, but it is possible.
If that is true, then I have never known of. While I've not done many of these myself, I do know Remove Curse. I don't have it prepared today, but if you did want to hire someone to cast it, I am available. But I've never heard of it changing personality or making them drastically different. Although, if you could imagine the trauma of finding out your friend or somebody has done something to you, I've seen people become very paranoid and withdrawn and not sure of what is real. It is hard to know if the memory was changed long enough ago, how many people that you've met along the way knew about it, were in on it, are pulling the strings.
Dante will again just look towards Volu. He's trying to keep kind of like a yes type thing, but his eyes is very much like looking at him in this kind of like, are you sure and are you okay?
Volu is taking it in and seeing that it could work, but the idea of it working is almost the thing that's scaring him. So at the moment he's just being very much like, thank you for the information, and is kind of looking for a way to leave the conversation.
Dante will pick up on that. And just kind of go, thank you very much. You've given us lots to think about. We will come back if we need more information, maybe get some more advice or perhaps even include you. But yes, thank you very much. This was a very was it intuitive meeting? No.
Informative.
Insightful.
Informative. Insightful.
Enlightening.
No, it's not going to be insightful, it's me. Informative. It was a very informative conversation. Thank you so much.
They nod and you notice they give a look to the receptionist, almost on like I'm going to head back now. And then
sorry.
Yeah, no, and as you sort of start to turn and go the other way, they also start to turn and head the other way.
Dante immediately just swings around, puts his hand, say, on the back of Foley when we'll start to walk, and like kind of almost push him a bit, just gently, just to kind of like get him to walk a bit. He won't say anything for the moment. Just we'll give Volo a chance to take that to sink in for a moment.
Okay, and as you head out and begin to exit back out onto the open quad area, that is where we will end part 1 of this episode. Thank you very much for listening. As always,
then Dante burns the school down.
If you want to find out if Dante burns the school down, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out next. And as always, roll well. Bye.
This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll well.